The year 2025 is predicted to bring a major threat to Earth, one that most people are utterly unaware of. The source? Our very own sun. In today's video, we will delve deep into how solar activity could wreak havoc on our planet and what we might expect in the coming year. So what exactly is the big deal with the sun in 2025? How can this be prevented? To understand this, we need to talk about the solar cycle, right? And did you know there are 10 more critical disasters that are predicted in 2025 with this solar threat? Stay tuned to find out more. The sun goes through an approximately 11-year cycle of activity, from solar minimum to solar maximum, where solar activity like sunspots and solar flares are at their peak. According to scientists, the upcoming peak, expected around 2025, could bring some of the most intense solar storms we've ever seen. Solar storms, particularly coronal mass ejections or CMEs, can send massive bursts of solar wind and magnetic fields hurtling towards Earth. If these hit our planet, they can disrupt our magnetic field, leading to geomagnetic storms. These storms have the potential to cause widespread power outages, disable satellites, and even disrupt communication and navigation systems on a global scale. One of the most powerful solar storms ever recorded was the Carrington Event in 1859. It caused telegraph systems all over the world to fail, with some even catching fire due to the intense electrical currents generated. If a similar event were to happen today, the effects would be far more devastating given our reliance on electricity and technology. The probability of a Carrington-level event in the 2020s is estimated at 2 to 3%, which might seem low, but the consequences are so severe that it warrants serious attention. We could see blackouts lasting for months, loss of GPS and communications, and significant economic damage. Imagine this. A massive solar storm hits, causing a major geomagnetic storm. The power grid could be knocked out across entire continents. Without power, our water supply systems, food distribution networks, and even basic communications could collapse. And that's just the beginning. Satellites would be another major casualty. Without functional satellites, we lose GPS, weather forecasting, international communications, and more. The drag from charged particles can also cause satellites to fall out of orbit and burn up on re-entry. Now let's talk about the other potential disasters that could coincide with this solar threat in 2025. Here are the top 10. 1. Global cyber attacks. As infrastructures fail, cyber threats could become more prevalent, exploiting vulnerabilities. 2. Economic collapse. Prolonged power outages could cripple economies, leading to financial crises. 3. Natural disasters. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and other natural events don't pause for solar storms. 4. Pandemics. With healthcare systems down, managing pandemics would become exponentially harder. 5. Climate change effects. Increased temperatures, rising sea levels, and extreme weather events could add to the chaos. 6. Resource wars. Scarcity of water, food, and other resources could lead to conflicts. 7. Nuclear threats. The instability could lead to heightened risks of nuclear accidents or conflicts. 8. Environmental catastrophes. Oil spills, chemical leaks, and other environmental disasters could go unchecked. 9. Space debris. Increased solar activity could knock space debris into critical satellites or the ISS. 10. Loss of knowledge. With the internet down, access to information and coordination efforts could be severely hampered. Now, let's break down each of these potential disasters in more detail. First, global cyber attacks. As our infrastructures like power grids and communication networks are strained or fail due to solar storms, cyber criminals could exploit these vulnerabilities. We've seen how dependent our world has become on digital systems. If these systems are compromised during a solar event, the results could be catastrophic. Cyber attacks could target everything from personal data to critical national infrastructure, causing widespread chaos. Second, economic collapse. Imagine the impact of prolonged power outages on the global economy. Businesses would shut down, stock markets could crash and entire industries might come to a standstill. The ripple effect of an economic collapse could lead to severe financial crises, affecting millions of lives. The interconnected nature of our global economy means that a significant disruption in one area can have far-reaching consequences worldwide. Third, natural disasters. Earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, and other natural events don't take a break for solar storms. In fact, the added strain on our emergency response system could make it even harder to deal with such disasters. For instance, if a major earthquake strikes during a solar event, the lack of power and communication could severely hamper rescue and relief efforts. Fourth, pandemics. With healthcare systems down due to power and communication failures, managing a pandemic would become exponentially harder. Hospitals rely on electricity for life-saving equipment, and communication networks are crucial for coordinating response efforts. A simultaneous pandemic and solar storm event could overwhelm our healthcare systems, leading to catastrophic loss of life. Fifth, climate change effects. The ongoing issues of increased temperatures, rising sea levels, and extreme weather events could add to the chaos caused by solar storms. For example, extreme weather can already disrupt power supplies and communications. Adding a major solar storm to the mix would amplify these effects, making it even harder to cope with the impacts of climate change. Sixth, resource wars. Scarcity of water, food, and other essential resources could lead to conflicts. As supply chains are disrupted by power outages and communication failures, access to basic necessities could become limited. This scarcity could spark conflicts over resources, both within and between countries. Seventh, nuclear threats. The instability caused by a major solar event could lead to heightened risks of nuclear accidents or conflicts. Power outages could affect nuclear plants, increasing the risk of accidents. Additionally, geopolitical tensions could escalate as nations struggle to deal with the fallout from a major solar storm. Eighth, environmental catastrophes. Oil spills, chemical leaks, and other environmental disasters could go unchecked if response systems are down. Our ability to manage and mitigate environmental damage relies heavily on functional power and communication systems. Without these, the impact of such disasters could be far greater. Ninth, space debris. Increased solar activity could knock space debris into critical satellites or the International Space Station, or ISS. The drag from charged particles in the Earth's atmosphere could alter the orbits of debris, posing a collision risk to operational satellites and space missions. This could lead to a cascade of satellite failures, further disrupting communication and navigation systems. 10th, loss of knowledge. With the internet down, access to information and coordination efforts would be severely hampered. In our digital age, we rely on the internet for everything from communication to accessing information. A prolonged internet outage could isolate communities, hinder emergency responses, and disrupt daily life. So, what can we do to prepare? Awareness is the first step. Governments and organizations are already working on strategies to mitigate these risks. For example, staging repair crews and having contingency plans in place for utility companies. Improved satellite shielding and better forecasting models for solar activity are also being developed. The time to act is now. Let's save the Earth, for ourselves and for all living beings that call it home. Thanks for watching, and please be sure to subscribe for more content.